Katie, and this is my crazy huge book haul and unboxing video. So I think my last book haul was a little over a month ago, and since then I've gotten a crazy amount of books. I didn't realize I had bought this many books, but I guess I did. The book hauls don't lie. Let's get started. The first book I picked up, which I've talked about and I've already read in my videos, is Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins. I loved this book. It was a lot of fun. I think I have quite a few videos talking more about my thoughts on it, so I will link them down below if you're curious on what I thought about it. Spoiler alert, I really loved it. After that, I got Isla and the Happily Ever After, also by Stephanie Perkins, and this one was my favorite of the trio of books. And again, I have a few videos out already talking about how much I loved this book. I also picked up Just One Day by Gayle Forman. I read If I Stay and Where She Went a few weeks ago, I think, and I absolutely loved her writing style and loved the characters and the story, so I wanted to pick up another book by her, and this book sounds absolutely adorable. The girl goes to Europe, backpacking, I think, traveling through, and she meets this guy Willem, and he's an actor, and they have one crazy day in Paris. So it sounds like a really good read, so I'm excited for it. Another book I've already read and talked a lot about is P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. I have a review video for this book, so if you click right somewhere here, I'll put a link to it so you can check it out. And also, I loved this book. The next book I picked up was Lock and Key by Sarah Dessen. I haven't read a Sarah Dessen book yet, but I have been in a serious contemporary mood lately, I think with the warm weather and everything. So I picked this one up. I've read a lot of great things about her books. Everyone seems to love them, and she seems to be really popular in the contemporary world. And when I was at the bookstore, I realized just how many books she has. So if you've read this one or any other of Sarah Dessen's books, let me know what you think of them, which one's your favorite, what I should check out next. Next, I picked up The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. Again, I picked this up because I love To All the Boys I Loved Before and P.S. I Still Love You, and I've heard a lot of great things about The Summer I Turned Pretty, so I wanted to check it out, and it sounds like a perfect summer read since summer is in the titles. I'm really excited for this. It's about a girl named Belly, and she goes to this beach every summer, and I think there's two boys there, and she's been in love with one of them or both of them, and it's their story. And I'm also excited about this because there's 3 books in the series, and in a lot of contemporary books you don't get a continuation of the story, but I always want one, so I'm pretty excited about that. And for the last of the contemporary books I picked up, I got Someday Someday Maybe by Lauren Graham. Lauren Graham as in Lorelai from Gilmore Girls. So when I saw this book at the bookstore, I had to pick it up. Plus it was on the discount rack, so it was $7, so I was really excited when I found it. This book is about a struggling actress in New York and her trying to make her dreams come true there. I don't know too much more about this book, but it has pretty good reviews, so I'm excited to give it a read. I also picked up The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. I've been hearing so much about this book, and just like it's a huge twist at the end, so I'm really excited to get into it. Also, when I saw it in paperback, and it's like a really good paperback, like really floppy pages, so I had to pick it up. And like I said, I'm really excited to read this so I can see what all the hype is about. I also picked up The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I've heard so much about this book, and I literally cannot wait to start reading it. The only other book I've read by Maggie Stiefvater is Shiver, and I didn't necessarily love it. I thought it was alright, but I didn't feel the need to continue on with this series. But I've heard this series is so much better, and I have not heard a single bad thing about this series, so I'm super excited to start it. Then I got The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Adia. This book is everywhere on BookTube right now. I feel like I see it in every other video I watch, and I cannot wait to read it. I know it is a retelling, I think, of 1001 Arabian Nights, and it is about this king or prince, and he gets a new wife every night, maybe every once in a while, and they end up dying the next day. And then this girl's friend dies, and so she signs up to be the next wife, and she doesn't end up dying. So it sounds really intriguing, and I cannot wait to read it. Last month I picked up An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I have not yet read this, but it is definitely high up on my to-read list. I've been watching a lot of review videos on it, and it seems like people are really liking it. And I've heard that it's not just a standalone anymore. It is a series. I don't know how many books in it, but there will at least be one more. So that's good to know going in. So if I really like it, I know there will be more story to add on. And then lastly, for the fantasy books that I picked up, I got A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I already read this book. I'm pretty sure I read this in one sitting. Like, I stayed up, let me think. I was reading this from like 2 a.m. I woke up in the middle of the night. I read this from 2 a.m. and did not stop reading it until I finished. It was really, really good, and especially in the beginning, I wasn't so into it. I thought, you know, it was a little slower getting into than Throne of Glass, but I absolutely loved it. I cannot wait for the next book in the series. It is really, really good. In my June wrap-up video, I'll talk more about what I thought about this book, so look out for that video. And then I also picked up The Lumberjanes, which I've talked about this in a few videos so far. I've already read it. It was a really cute graphic novel. I recommend it for everyone to pick up, especially if you're trying to get into graphic novels. I think this is a great place to start. Now on to my book outlet unboxing. Now I ordered this a few weeks ago, and the box has been sitting at my house for a little while now, so I don't remember what I ordered at all, really. It's all kind of coming back to me, some of it. The first book is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. Now, I have 2 other books in the series. Let me check. I have City of Glass and City of Lost Souls, which I think those are like 3 and 5. I just picked them up because they were on sale and they were a really great price, and I want to read the series. But then I was realizing, like, I want to read the series soon, so when I saw the first one on Book Outlet, I had to pick it up. Next, I picked up The Beginning of Everything by Robin Schneider. I've seen some reviews on this book, and it seems like everyone really loves it, so I was intrigued when I saw it on Book Outlet. It is about a boy who is, like, really popular. I think he's on, like, the football team and everything, and then he has an accident and something happens, and it's his story from then on after the accident. It sounds really good, and since reading The Rosie Project, I've been really into books from the male perspective, which is a lot different than a normal contemporary read, so it gives a different perspective. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Next, I got Whatever Life Throws at You by Julie Cross. I really don't know too much about this. I think the girl's dad is a baseball coach, and then she falls in love with a player on the team, and it's their story. I mainly picked this up because I've really been into contemporary romances lately, and it just sounds like a fun summer read, and it's really been what I've gravitating towards in these last few weeks. Then I picked up Where She Went by Gayle Forman. I already read this book, but I read it in the ebook format, and I really wanted a hard copy just to have on my shelves because I absolutely love this book, so I'm still going to have to keep a lookout for If I Stay, but I thought this was a great series, and I really enjoyed it. Then I picked up The Promise of Amazing by Robin Constantine. This book is about a girl, I think her family owns like a catering company that is like medieval themed, or a banquet hall, and she meets this guy there, and it's their love story. So like I said, I've been really into these books this summer, and I really want to read a bunch of them and then do a review video. I have a video on my top 5 favorite chick lit books, which are all adult contemporary books. Just recently I started reading young adult ones, and I've really been liking them, so I'm hoping to make a video soon on all the contemporary YA books I've been reading and kind of rating them out. Look for that in the future, like a little bit in the future. Lastly, I picked up Meant to Be by Lauren Morrill. This book is about a class trip to London, I think it is, and this girl starts receiving these mysterious romantic text messages from someone, and she gets paired up with this guy from her class that she doesn't really like, and then he promises to help her find out who is sending the text messages to her. And I'm guessing it's him sending them to her, but, you know, what do I know? I guess I'll just have to read it and find out. But it sounds cute, and I am going to London and Paris this summer, so I am trying to read all the books that take place there to kind of like get me super excited for it. Alright, that is all the books that I picked up recently. Let me know if you've read any of these and what you thought of them, and let me know what new books you've picked up, because obviously I am always in the mood for picking up new books. So thanks for watching. Bye! This of reading The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. I'm about a little over 100 pages in, and I have to say, at the beginning it was hard to get into because it was like such a different world than any other books I've read, and some of the words were just so different and new to me, but oh, I'm loving it so much right now. It's